Good morning to all. Hope you are keeping well. We'll move on to the next question. Which of the following is beta pyranose among the given options? So we need to find out the beta pyranose. So what does this pyranose indicates? Pyranose indicates this is what in biomolecules we have studied. So pyranose structure is different, but this is what we have studied in our biomolecules chapter. So this is our first carbon and this is our fifth carbon. So this is what we have studied. And one more important thing is beta, it has been indicated. So if it is beta, then OH group will be present on that is the first carbon OH. It is the first carbon always. So the first carbon C1OH is present. Beta means alpha means it is on the right side. Beta means is present left side. So beta indicates C1 OH configuration is towards the left side. So if it is left side, then where it will come? It should be above. It should be above the ring. So that is so beta, what a pyranose structure will write it. If this is the C1, OH group will be present above. This is what the configuration for beta indicates. If it is on the right side, then it will come down. So if it is on the right side, then it is named as alpha. So we shall see the structures here. So if you consider this one, so I'll be writing that the structure. So this is what the normal structure in this. So this is our first carbon because this is our sixth and this will be our fifth. For the fifth carbon, sixth carbon is attached. That is what we have studied. Then if this is fifth, then this should be first one because when you consider the oxygen, so oxygen is between first and the fifth carbon. It is the first carbon, okay? Then this is fifth carbon. So this is our second carbon, third, and this is our fourth carbon, okay? Now, so when you consider in this structure, OH is above, OH is present above, that means that it is the top above position. That means that this is our beta. So no need to check the other carbons here. So it is only beta pyranose we need to identify. So only the first carbon, if you check, that is more than enough. And later, if at all, if you come across with such structure, then later you check the remaining things. So if you consider first carbon, OH is on the above side, that is on the left side. So that is beta 1. So second carbon, OH is down, that is correct, and it is on the right side. Third, OH is left side and it is above. You can make out this is above and this is down. This is above and it is down. This is CH2OH. This is the sixth carbon CH2OH group. So that means that the remaining groups are correct. The remaining OH groups are present as it is. It is correct. If you want, you can now check that one also. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and it is sixth. Sixth is like this. So it is bonded with the oxygen. Okay, next. So here it is fifth carbon, fourth, third, second, and the first one, it should be beta. They mentioned beta means it should be always left side. So for the first carbon and this is our first carbon, so we can easily write down. This is our first, this is our second, third, fourth, 5, 6. If you are not getting the structure, if you cannot make out the structure, then this is easier one. So this is the first carbon and the third carbon, OH should be above. So the first carbon and this is our first one, this is our second one, this is our third one. So first carbon is also above. That means that they are on the left side. It is also above, and for the third carbon also it is above. So what about the second and fourth? Second is down, fourth is also downward. You can make out it is downward. H is above. So that means that this is our beta pyranose. The next structures you can analyze like that only. So OH groups, when you compare OHs as it is, OH is given as it is of this type. But here what is happening? The first carbon OH is downward. That means that OH is present on the right side of the first carbon atom. That means that it is alpha pyranose structure. Next, what about this one? You can make out it is entirely different again. So this is also entirely different. So we need not to worry about this one. I hope it is clear. So if it is a, whether it is a beta or not, you can check. That is the first carbon. This is the first carbon. Both sides we have OH groups. Both sides we have OH groups. So we cannot assign alpha and beta for this particular structure. If you consider this one, this is our first carbon. It doesn't contain OH at all. It is not having OH at all. So we cannot assign alpha and beta for this one also as well as for this one also. So the correct answer is option A. Identify the alpha D minus fructofuranose, beta D minus fructofuranose from the following structure. So fructose it is. So alpha and beta already we have seen. The whatever the carbon is there, if OH is on the right side, then it is alpha. If OH is on the left side, then it is beta. I hope it is clear. So now, so alpha for C2, OH is on the right side. So that's why it is alpha. It is on the left side. So that's why it is beta. So we come to know that it is an alpha and it is beta. Check whether the remaining carbons OH groups are correct or not. Sixth carbon, fifth carbon is involved in the bonding. Fourth carbon OH is this side only. Third carbon OH is this side only. Second carbon OH might be this side or this side. So that means that the remaining OH groups and the remaining structures are correct. So this is alpha and this is beta. So observe here, second carbon OH is downward. If OH is downward, second carbon OH is downward. Downward means it should be on the right side. I hope it is clear. OH, if it is downward, that indicates that it is present on the right side. If it is on the right side, we can say that it is also an alpha. It is also an alpha. Likewise, if you consider, so the remaining things as it is, you can observe third OH, fourth OH, third OH above. That means the third OH should be on the left side. Fourth OH should be it is down. Here also it is down. Here also it is down. That indicates that it is present on the right side. So in both the cases, it is on the right side. Next, second carbon in this group, if you observe, second carbon OH is on the top. That means that it is present on the left side. If OH is on the left side, then it is an beta group. That is, first and third are alpha. Second and fourth are beta. First and third are alpha fructanose. Second and fourth are beta fructanose. That means that it is option B. Option B is the correct answer. You need to just observe. You need to just observe this part. And that also particularly you need to observe only OH position. That is enough. OH is on the right side, so it is alpha. OH is on the left side, so it is beta. So likewise here also, so second carbon OH is downward. So that downward indicates it is on the right side. So that's why it is mentioned as alpha. It is above, so that's why it is beta. I hope it is clear. So this is our next question. Which of the following gives a positive Fehling's solution test? So that is a Fehling solution test. failing solution test is given by aldoses or ketoses. Both aldoses as well as ketoses. Aldoses or ketoses will give a failing solution test. So here which is aldose and which all are ketoses we can see. Sucrose, it is an disaccharide. It is an disaccharide here. So glucose is an aldose. Fats and protein you leave. It doesn't contain aldehydic group or ketonic group. So if you consider sucrose is a disaccharide which also doesn't contain aldehydic or ketonic group. So only among this four, glucose is the one which contains aldehydic group. So it will be giving rise to a positive failing solution test. So positive failing solution test is nothing but it is going to give rise to an red precipitate. It forms an red precipitate. What is this test? After 2-3 questions after that, in detail we'll study what is Tollens reagent test, what is failings test, and how it is going to form a red precipitate, as well as Benedict's test also we shall study at after 2-3 questions. Okay. So remember, if it is positive failing solution test means the product should be red precipitate, and it will be done only for aldoses or ketoses, that is aldehydic group or ketonic group should be present. So then only it will be what it gives a positive test there, especially aldehydic group. Remember that one. Next one, alpha D glucose and beta D glucose are a pair of anomers. They are epimers also, but it is specifically mentioned as anomers because alpha and beta are meant for first carbon atom. So if the configuration is different at only the first carbon atom, then they are called as anomers. Which one given below is a non-reducing sugar? So non-reducing sugar is the one which doesn't contains a free aldehydic group or free ketonic group. So non-reducing sugar, I'll write it here. Does not contain free aldehydic or ketonic group. So maltose, lactose, disaccharide. So they contain aldehydic groups. Glucose contain aldehydic group. Sucrose is the one which is a disaccharide again. I'm sorry, maltose and lactose, glucose. So what all of them contains a free aldehydic group, but sucrose is a disaccharide which doesn't contain aldehydic group. So that's why it is a non-reducing sugar. The next one. So here what's the problem is why we have not come across with maltose, lactose and sucrose in our theory part is, so the portion has been reduced. So from the PU government, that is from the Karnataka board, so they have deleted a few portion. So the maltose, lactose and sucrose comes under that one. So only monosaccharides are there. So that's why we have studied only monosaccharide. So what based upon that, the questions also, it was in the NEET 2016. So that's why the question has been included here. But the thing is, so as the portion is deleted, so for NEET portion it is not announced. So that's why we cannot make out. So according to the PU board, we are going ahead now. For the NEET portions will be soon, it will be released. So based upon that, if any changes are there, we shall do that. We'll be teaching those changes also later. Sucrose on hydrolysis grieves. So that is when you hydrolyze the sucrose, this reaction already we have studied. That is while preparation of glucose. While studying the preparation of glucose as well as while studying the preparation of fructose also we have studied that one. Sucrose on hydrolysis gives alpha D glucose and beta D fructose. That is what the correct answer is. alpha D glucose and beta D fructose. It is not under sucrose we have studied. It is under the commercial it is under the preparation of, not commercial, it is under the laboratory preparation of glucose also we have studied this reaction, and for fructose also we have studied this reaction. So sucrose on hydrolysis in the presence of an acid, it is going to give rise to alpha D glucose and beta D fructose. So this is what. And now we are going to discuss about the Fehling's solution test, Benedict's test, and Tollens reagent test. Tollens test. Fehling's solution. And Benedict's test is given by glucose and fructose. So in actual, all these are mild oxidizing agents. All these are mild oxidizing agents. All these will be acting as an oxidizing agent. We have already studied. So only aldehydic group, only aldehydes can react with mild oxidizing agents to convert that one as carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. But ketones doesn't undergo this one. In case of glucose, we have aldehyde. But in case of fructose, we have ketonic group there. We have a ketonic group. But then how fructose is going to give Tollens test, Fehling's solution test, and Benedict's test? So here in all these cases, we are going to use a basic condition. So all these are nothing but all the test is being conducted under basic condition. That is very, very important point. So all the test will be conducted under basic condition. What happens in this basic condition? In this basic condition, the ketonic group, if at all a ketonic carbon is there, or a carbonyl carbon with a ketonic functional group is there, means if it contains alpha hydroxy group, if it contains alpha hydroxy group, then it undergoes a tautomerism, that is an rearrangement is going to take place. So it is going to form an enediol intermediate. Later it rearranges to form an alpha hydroxyaldehyde. That means that, so fructose whatever is there, fructose which contains ketonic group, in presence of basic medium converted to glucose. Okay. So in this glucose, this can be written as either tautomerism, or so it can be written as ketoenol tautomerism, ketoenol tautomerism, or we can write that one as enediol rearrangement, Indiol rearrangement or epimerization. Base catalyzed epimerization we can call, because epimer it is going to form, or we can also name that one as isomerization also, because isomers it is forming. Epimers or isomers formation. Fructose, where ketonic group was there in basic medium, undergoes undergoes this one, and it forms a glucose, where glucose consists of aldehydic group, and with the help of this aldehydic group, so it the tolerance reagent, failing solution, or Benedict's test it is going to give, or it will be giving a positive test for all these things. I hope it is clear. Follow this one. We shall see now how how this keto-enol tautomerism takes place, or enediol rearrangement takes place. Fructose, we shall write it. It is CH2OH. We have C double bond O, and we have a CHOH 3 times. It is CH2OH. Total 6 carbon atoms. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what fructose is. This is our fructose. So now observe. So we have an ketonic group. To this the first carbon, and that first carbon is called as alpha carbon. This is our alpha carbon. This alpha carbon consists of OH group. So we can name this one as, we can name this fructose as alpha hydroxy ketone. Alpha hydroxy ketone. So fructose is nothing but it consists of alpha carbon with OH group is there. So that's why it is alpha hydroxy ketone. So this alpha hydroxy ketone in a short form, how I am going to write is, it is R OH double bond O. Okay. So this entire part is our R group. So this one directly one carbon we have left, and this is our first carbon, and this is our second carbon. So we can write this is our first carbon, this is our second, this is third, and R group includes 4, 5 and 6. Okay, this is the short form I had written so that it will be easy for you to understand. So first carbon consisting of OH group, second with double bond O, third 4, 5, 6 as R group I have written. So third carbon also consists of OH groups there. So that is not been mentioned. It will be present. It will be present as it is. So it has been written in this form. It is a general form I had written. So that is alpha hydroxy ketone here. Okay. So now, so it undergoes an tautomerism. That is what a enediol intermediate it is going to form. So how it is going to form an enediol intermediate, we shall see. I'll explain that one here and later we'll write it down there. Okay. So here we have a hydrogen. This carbon consists of 2 hydrogen. It is CH2OH. Here we have double bond O. We consist of double bond O. So next. So the bonded pair of bonded pair is going to shift on oxygen atom. So double bond is there. Oxygen is more electronegative in nature. It is going to shift on oxygen, which makes the oxygen negatively charged, because the bonded pair is going to shift on oxygen. So that's why it is getting a negative charge. If it is going to shift, then what about this carbon? This carbon is getting a positive charge. This carbon is getting an positive charge. So if this carbon is getting a positive charge, obviously this carbon will pull this bonded pair of electrons towards its side, because this is one more carbon here. This is also carbon and this is also carbon. So if it is positive charge, if it doesn't has electrons, positive charge means it is lacking with electrons. It is going to pull the electrons from this bond. So what happens? So this carbon is there. This is our first carbon. This carbon consists of this side OH group and this side hydrogen. So it is bonded to oxygen. It cannot break the bond here because oxygen is more electronegative. It is going to pull the electrons towards its side. But here what happens? It is hydrogen. Hydrogen will leave as, it is going to leave as H plus ions. It is going to leave as H plus ion. H plus ion, leaving that bonded pair here only. So those bonded pair of electrons will be shifted this side. Why it is going to shift this side? Because this carbon is with positive charge. So that's why this bonded pair of electron is going to shift towards this side and making this one as a double bond. So observe properly. If at all, if it is not been understood, the same thing, I'll draw it little more like this. Double bond. We have carbon. We have hydrogen. It is CH2OH. And it is OH like this. Okay. The same thing I had written in this way. That's it. Now, so we have a double bond here. Those double bonded electron is because oxygen is more electronegative. It is going to pull towards its side. Then double bonded electrons is going to shift on oxygen. Oxygen will get a negative charge. This carbon will get a positive charge. Now what happens? So this carbon is pulling the electrons from this side. And this carbon, it is pulling the electrons, but oxygen is not giving because oxygen is more electronegative. It is also pulling towards its side. But what happens with the hydrogen? So when hydrogen is considered, hydrogen easily gives out the electron and it is going to come out as H plus ion. It is not taking. When you write like this, so leaving the bond pair to the carbon itself, hydrogen is coming out as H plus. It is H plus now. So what happens to these electrons? These electrons will shift towards this side because this carbon is positively charged. So when it is being shifted towards this side, then the compound changes as C. It is O minus here. Here it is double bond C H OH. Okay. Now what is left out? This H plus is left out. This H plus will attract OH minus. So H plus whatever is there, it is going to combine with OH minus and it forms a OH group. It is going to form an OH group. This is what called enediol. DIOL. That is nothing but the OL indicates alcoholic group. So between the carbon atoms, a double bond is there. So that's why it is ene. So on each carbon atom, one OH group is present. So that's why it is named as enediol. So the same compound here will write it. So it is R as it is. What happens to this double bond O? It has been converted as OH, and this carbon with that it has been OH, but in between them we have a double bond. So that's why we name this one as enediol. Enediol rearrangement. Enediol rearrangement. This again undergoes an rearrangement to form an alpha hydroxyaldehyde. So what is that rearrangement or how it undergoes a rearrangement, we shall see. Next, after enediol rearrangement, so further what happens is there is an protonation is going to happen to the either the carbon. So now what happens is, so this OH is there, so it dissociates as H plus and O minus. O minus and H plus, it dissociates. So if it is O minus and H plus is there, H plus, this bond will be broken, H plus is going to come out. H plus will be coming out. O minus shifts this electrons towards this bond. Then what happens? It is a double bond now. I hope it is clear. O minus shifts this, it is an resonating structure. So that's why, so what we can have in this form also it is. So it is an double, this negative charge is going to shift towards this side. This makes the double bond here. Carbon with the 5 bonds, 2 here, 3. It is a double bond. It is going to shift means it forms a double bond here. So 2, 4, 1, 5 bond, which is not possible. So that's why this bonded electron is going to shift towards this side. This makes this carbon negative. I hope it is clear. The bond between oxygen and hydrogen is broken. Hydrogen leaves as H plus, O minus, it is going to shift towards this side, makes it as a double bond. Then this double bond is going to shift on the carbon, making this one as negatively charged. So if it is negatively charged, so I'll write this part. It is COH as it is, single bond C. So we know that it is negative charge here. C negative charge, then this carbon with 1 hydrogen and a double bond O. Okay, now this is negatively charged. We have a H plus ion. We have H plus ion in our group. So C minus attracts towards the H plus. So that is called a reprotonation. So it is a COH or CH. OH, single bond C, double bond OH. What is this group? CHO group, that is called as aldehydic group. So further we can write here continuation of this one. Continuation of this one. So we have taken an alpha hydroxy ketone. We got an enediol rearrangement. Again it rearranges. So we have seen how it undergoes the rearrangement. And it is going to form a product. I'll write it here. R. It is OH as it is. You can make out OH as it is. It is OH as it is. Next, the rearrangement. We have a product here. It is OH as it is. CH double bond O. So that one I'll be writing it here. It is C. So this is what our carbon, and that carbon is bonded to an double bond with the oxygen, and we have hydrogen also. So this is carbon double bond O with hydrogen. So we can name that one as alpha hydroxy aldehyde. What we took alpha hydroxy ketone. That is what this one, alpha hydroxy ketone. It had undergone enediol rearrangement, and further isomerization or rearrangement has taken place to form alpha hydroxy aldehyde. So this aldehyde, that is what fructose we have, and it undergoes a rearrangement takes place and it forms an aldehydic group. So that aldehydic group is going to convert, it's going to react with mild oxidizing agents. Which are those mild oxidizing agents? Tollens reagent, Fehling solution, and Benedict's reagent to form an carboxylic acid or carboxylate ion. So that is what the reaction is. So we are going to study this reaction in our tomorrow's class. We are going to study this reaction, how this glucose or fructose is going to react with Tollens reagent, what it is going to give, what is the Tollens test, what is that Fehling's test, and what is that Benedict's test in our tomorrow's class. But I hope you understood. So glucose consisting of aldehyde group with a mild oxidizing. All these are mild oxidizing agents. With a mild oxidizing agent, it undergoes oxidation. But being a ketone, fructose also will be fructose also will be giving a positive test for with the Tollens reagent, Fehling's solution, and Benedict's solution. How it is that we have seen? It is due to keto-enol tautomerism or enediol rearrangement. So our alpha hydroxy ketonic group, that is nothing but fructose, undergoes this rearrangement to form alpha hydroxy aldehyde. That is what glucose indicates.